was harsh. The land was scarred by conflict. The economy lay in ruins. Famine stalked the countryside. The people who had sacrificed so much faced a monumental task. They had to build a country from the ground up. Those initial years were full of turmoil and uncertainty. Political stability seemed a distant dream. The promise of a golden Bengal felt fragile. Widespread poverty and disarray followed liberation. The political landscape was turbulent. Political upheavals, coups, counter-coups, shook the foundations of the state. The country needed a new direction and vision. Major General Ziaur Rahman, a liberation war hero, moved to the center of power. He was not a traditional politician. He was a soldier who had witnessed the birth of the nation on the battlefield. His arrival marked a turning point. Many saw him as a potential savior. His initial focus was restoring law and order. Zia believed military rule wasn't a long-term solution. He knew he needed the people's support. He envisioned a political philosophy to bridge deep divisions: liberals, conservatives, leftists, Islamists. On the 1st of September 1978, a new political party was officially born. It was named the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, or BNP. Its founder was the then president, Ziaur Rahman. He had spent the previous year consolidating his power and laying the ideological foundations for this new entity. The first few years of the BNP's rule, under Ziaur Rahman's leadership, were a period of remarkable transformation. However, this progress was cut short by a terrible tragedy. In May 1981, President Ziaur Rahman was assassinated in a failed military coup in Chattogram. The BNP, still young, faced its first major crisis. Leadership fell to Vice President Abdus Sattar. In March 1982, Army Chief Hussein Muhammad Ershad seized power in a bloodless coup. Many leaders and activists were arrested or forced into hiding. Leadership passed to Begum Khaleda Zia. Initially reluctant, she stepped up in the darkest hour. Throughout the 1980s, she forged an alliance with Sheikh Hasina to lead a mass movement against Ershad, an unlikely alliance united to restore democracy. The long and arduous struggle against military rule finally bore fruit. In late 1990, a mass uprising forced General Ershad to step down. A neutral caretaker government was formed to oversee free and fair elections. In the parliamentary elections held in February 1991, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party emerged as the single largest party. Led by Khaleda Zia, the BNP formed a government, and she became the first female prime minister in the history of Bangladesh. As the new millennium dawned, the BNP found itself in the role of the main opposition party. The late 1990s were, well, a period of intense political rivalry. The political tide turned once again in the 2001 general election. The BNP formed a four-party alliance with several other parties, including the Islamist party Jamaat-e-Islami. This coalition won a resounding victory, securing a two-thirds majority in parliament, launched large-scale infrastructure projects, and expanded telecommunications and IT services. The government faced criticism for a deteriorating law and order situation and the rise of religious extremism. Allegations of widespread corruption and political cronyism tarnished the government's image. The end of the BNP's term in 2006 led to one of the most severe political crises in the country's history. In January 2007, the military intervened, backing a new technocratic caretaker government. This administration launched a massive anti-corruption drive that saw the arrest of many top politicians. The party's chairperson, Khaleda Zia, was convicted in several corruption cases, including Sheikh Hasina. For the BNP, this was another period of immense trial and uncertainty. This administration stayed in power for 2 years before elections returned the country to democratic rule. A new election was held in December 2008, and the BNP suffered a heavy defeat. Sheikh Hasina became prime minister, and the political landscape shifted dramatically. The party found itself in the opposition with a much reduced presence in parliament. In 2011, the caretaker government system was abolished, a major blow to the BNP. In the run-up to the 2014 general election, the BNP and its allies decided to boycott the polls. The Awami League won uncontested in many seats, producing a parliament without a credible opposition. The party resorted to street protests and blockades, which often led to violence and further repression. Many senior leaders and grassroots activists faced lawsuits and arrest. Throughout its 47-year journey, the BNP has demonstrated a remarkable capacity for resilience. Activists and supporters kept the organizational structure alive even in adversity. Zia introduced the concept of Bangladeshi nationalism, territorial and inclusive. Citizens defined by connection to the land, regardless of ethnicity or religion. A deliberate attempt to create a more inclusive national identity. The BNP's policies promoted self-reliance, economic growth and infrastructure. The ready-made garment industry became an engine of growth. But its legacy is complex, marked equally by achievements